I think the coolest application of it all, and probably the most relevant, the first one we'll see, is use in our bodies.
Yes.
Which I'm sure creeps a lot of people out, injecting this like...
Yo, if it keeps me cancer-free,
right.
And, whatever, I'll take it.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I definitely would want to see, of course, like the trials and other people test it out before myself. Definitely seems like not something I would jump to be an early adopter of.
No, hell no.
No,
not with my body.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be one of the most revolutionary aspects of nanotechnology is extending our lives even more. Mm-hmm. I think it was like in 1800, the average life expectancy was like 37.
Ooh.
And now we're at like 75 maybe in the US.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you can imagine if you just from birth were injecting these nanobots to constantly repair and improve your structure.
Right.
What does our lifespan look like?
Yeah. No, that's a real question that you got to think about, right? Is like, all right, if I live for this many years, how differently do I spend my time?
Right.
And if it's not breaking down either, if it's like instead of aging and you look 80, you're 80 years old, but you still look 30 because it's abilities of these nanobots to keep your cells in tip-top condition. And maybe they can even find a way to repair your telomeres, which are they're parts of your DNA that are always getting smaller as you age. It's all part of the aging process. Again, I'm not an expert. I just know this stuff because I'm a nerd and I looked into it. But yeah, so I think that is huge. Like, I think life extension technology is one that has some like moral and ethical questions associated with it, but it is, as like Sam Harris would probably put it, like it is alleviating suffering. Right. Like, so there is a positive side to it. How do you feel personally though about like somebody like Jeff Bezos living forever? Because a billionaire is going to be able to do it.
Exactly. No, it's a good point.
I pick on him a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't care. He seems awful. I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah, that's a great point, because when you think about technology, who has it first?
Mm-hmm.
Rich people.
The rich people.
Oh yeah.
Fucking rich.
Yeah,
people.
Right.
Gotta take them down from their tower, dude. No, I'm kidding. There's probably a bunch of nice rich people, but you're hoarding too much money.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, be the guinea pigs for all this. That is fine with me.
Yeah, feel free. Yeah, you can become the gray matter, dude.
Yeah. It always makes me think of Futurama. Mm-hmm. Just like the heads in a jar type idea. If that was possible, like, why wouldn't they just stick around for as long as they want and keep their empire going? And
yeah, which I think part of the planet's evolution, though, is the changing of hands. It is the turning over of the generations. Right. Imagine if the older generations never left. How hard would it be to break some of these really old ingrained ideas?
Exactly.
And that's where I think almost like turnover and death is actually a good thing.
Right.
That being said, if we can change the reasons how we die and like make it die more peacefully, I'm in favor of that. And I guess, if you live forever, wouldn't you want to opt out eventually? Wouldn't you get tired of it? I feel like you'd get tired of it. There's a reason why we only have so many years.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it would be nice to say by choice, I'm 235 and like, I think I'm good now.
Yeah. Like, hey, you know what? I've done literally everything I could have ever dreamed of. And I think it's time for me to move on to the next phase. Because that's a whole other question of fucking afterlife.
Yeah, right.
It's like, do we have one and whatnot? But based on just like what we know of here, being able to keep ourselves in that sweet spot of whatever our perfect age is, that is more appealing to live longer than if that's what you look like.
Right. Oh, totally.
But man, how confusing would the dating game be?
Yeah, right.
You're like, dude, I don't know if you're 100 or 30 or 50. And then the people who are like 100, man, they probably have the best game. They've been around so long.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the ethics are just, they're endless. There are going to be so many new scenarios presented with us and like you said, even with the AI, like we need to be thinking about this now.
Yes.
I think we really should have a plan, because the way I see it is it would seem we're just developing it because why not? And it's exciting and it's cool, but I don't think that the ethics are really at the forefront.
No, they're not. And I don't think that the people that are making this stuff are really thinking that deeply about it, because they're thinking from the standpoint of like, man, I know this is so many years away at the moment, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like even they are not seeing the larger picture, which you'd think that they would understand kind of that exponential curve.
Right.
But they still think linearly. At least from what I've gotten from, watching interviews of people and like listening. Joe Rogan had an episode really recently where there was this guy who was, he was like one of the inventors associated with singularity.net maybe.
Was he the guy with the like white leopard print fedora?
I didn't watch it. I listened to it, but I know that he was kind of a hippie looking dude.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he have like long hair?
If we're thinking the same person, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that like the way that he described it, he seemed like he understood that it's coming sooner than anybody thinks.
Right.
And he feels like he was really close. And I thought that one was fascinating because, you listen to the Elon Musk podcast and that one's a little bit like, you're like terrified of the way that he frames it. And then you listen to the other one and you're like, oh, that guy like makes me feel better about the outcome.
Right.
It makes me feel like, oh, there's a good guy that's trying to make this,
Absolutely. Yeah, just the way I see it is it's almost just kind of like a kid playing with matches, though. Mm-hmm. It's kind of where we're at. It's like I think that we don't have the almost even like the spiritual, background to really back up what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Our culture's missing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, any tool, is neither good nor evil. Fire doesn't have like a motive per se or a knife, but it's how it's wielded.
Yeah. It can either be cooked, it can cook food and it can burn you.
Right.
That's something that Jason Silva says all the time.
Yeah.